Tasso Square is Sorrento's main central piazza. It's named after the poet, Torquaton Tasso. The square is a good place to get orientated before exploring the rest of Sorrento. There are many bars, shops and restaurants on the square, and it's a great place for people watching. On the eastern side of the square is a statue of Sorrento's patron saint, Saint Antonino. Saint Antonino Abate was born around 555 AD in Campania, near Salerno. He was a monk at the monastery of Monte Cassino until it was attacked by the Lombards. He later settled in Sorrento and for a time served as its bishop. Amongst other things, he is credited with saving Sorrento from invasion by the Moors. A famous miracle that he performed was to save a child who had been swallowed up by a whale. The whale is depicted on the statue, resting subdued under his left foot. His feast day is celebrated on the same day as that of St. Valentine, 14th of February. As part of the celebrations, a silver statue of the saint is carried in religious procession along the streets. After he died around 625 AD, he is said to have been buried within the city walls to make it invulnerable to attack. The exact location is marked today by the Basilica of St. Antonino. This is located in St. Antonino Square, a short distance away from the main Tasso Square. If you look to your right as you enter Tasso Square from the west on the Corso Italia, you see a statue of the man after whom the square is named. Torquaton Tasso was a 16th century Italian poet whose most famous work is Gerusalemme Libertata, or Jerusalem Delivered. This work, completed in 1581, depicts the events around the siege of Jerusalem during the First Crusade. Tasso was born in Sorrento on the 11th of March 1544 and died in Rome on the 25th of April 1595. Like some other men of artistic genius, he was a tortured soul, and it is thought he suffered from bipolarity. The statue itself was created by the Neapolitan sculptor and painter Gennaro Calli in 1870. If you go just behind and to the right of Tasso's statue, you come to the Via Santa Maria della Pieta. This is one of Sorrento's medieval streets, and the area contains some of its oldest buildings. This was a main thoroughfare long before the creation of today's Corso Italia. This is an interesting side street that leads to a restaurant. The stone arches up above add to the medieval feel of the setting. Back on the main alleyway, you'll see places set out for alfresco dining. The street actually connects Tasso Square to the cathedral that is dedicated to Saints Philip and James. The arch up ahead takes you under the cathedral's bell tower. Halfway through on your right, you can see people walking past the bell tower on the Corso Italia, which runs parallel to this street. You can see people entering the Corso Italia from the interesting back streets of the old town. If you continue walking under the bell tower, you finally emerge in the vicinity of the cathedral itself. We now return to Tasso Square to look at the church of Antuario della Madonna del Carmine. It's a yellow pastel-coloured building near the statue of St. Antonino and his whale. The church is believed to mark the general area where a group of Sorrentine Christians were martyred during the Roman period under the anti-Christian laws of the Emperor Diocletian. It was originally the site of a pagan temple, but this was replaced by a Christian church in the 3rd century AD. The current church was built in the Baroque style in 1572 and dedicated to Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Here's the church from just inside the door. The ceiling of the church is quite spectacular, with a painting by Onofrio Avellino called Madonna in Glory with Saints and Angels. If you walk a short distance beyond the taxi rank, you come to a site from Sorrento's industrial past, the Valley of the Mills. These are the remains of flour mills that date back to the 13th century. They are built in a crevice that opened up due to seismic activity around 35,000 years ago. The mills were attracted to the location by the flowing water at the bottom of this crevice. The area fell into disuse in the 1940s after flour production moved elsewhere. It then started to revert back to nature. That concludes our exploration of the area around Tasso Square.